At 210 North Pentz Street, in the heart of the city's historic centre, you'll find one of the most well-known chili places in the city. The brick building, which is 2 stories tall, is the location of the Dalton Little Theatre, which is Georgia's oldest community theatre that is still actively playing. Since its founding in 1869, the Dalton Little Theatre, often known as DLT, has kept the community entertained with live performances, with the exception of World War I and World War II. It has been said by a significant number of the players, directors, and spectators that frequent DLT that the theatre is somewhat supernatural. I have heard walking overhead, when no one was upstairs, Randel Ovbey, a local actor who had his first performance with DLT in 1977, recounted. This was before the company claimed the present space as their home. There was a time when I was in a cast shot for the film Curious Savage, and there was a picture of a ghost crossing behind us. I assume it was for that film. In addition, I had been there when the sound system would make its debut in a sound booth that was completely empty. It was said by William Brooks, another seasoned local thespian, that he too has heard footsteps that do not belong to him. Adding, "Many of us have," he said. In addition, I've had individuals remark that they can smell smoke from a pipe or cigar, yet nobody smokes within the building. Carl Johnson, a firefighter who passed away, is the subject of local legend. At one point in time, the structure that is now over a century old was used as a fire hall. The phrase, "the old firehouse," is still often used to refer to it these days. Randel made the following information available. I heard that Carl was a fireman who came back from a run and had a heart attack, dying on location. According to the legend, a party of firefighters were sent to the scene in the 1950s. They went back to the firehouse after putting out a fire that had been going on. All of the individuals, with the exception of Carl, walked upstairs to take a shower and change their clothing. Carl's health was not in good shape. He fell asleep while reclining on a chair on the first level of the building. After some time had passed, a few of the firefighters made an effort to rouse Carl, only to find out that he had already passed away. He was no longer fighting. Almost immediately after Carl was put to rest, a number of firefighters started asserting that he was still present. Many people caught a glimpse of Carl out of the corner of their eye. Someone was able to spot him perfectly. His knockings and footsteps have been heard by an uncountable number of people during the course of his life. It is well knowledge that Carl is capable of manipulating electrical devices and moving stuff around. It is common practice to place the blame on Carl if props or personal goods are misplaced at DLT, even if there are some people in DLT who are adamant about not being left alone in particular parts. Randel Ovbey is not bothered by the fact that he has to share his cherished theatre with a ghost. I absolutely adore it, he said. I believe that it is fantastic. I get the impression that he is there to protect since he is a firefighter. In the latter half of the 1960s, police from the Dalton Police Department were called to the Hotel Dalton after an incident. Housekeeping discovered the body of a young lady who had checked in the previous night. The body was discovered the next morning. She had taken her own life. The low-rise building that was originally known as the Hotel Dalton is now known as the Landmark Building. It is 5 stories tall. Randy Bates, an attorney, is the owner of the property, which is located at 101 East Crawford Street and accommodates office space. The building is inhabited by a number of people who will attest to the existence of supernatural occurrences. Currently working with Dalton Ghost Tours, Jesse Kraut, who is from Rocky Face, is a tour guide. One day, a lady who was walking down the path asked me who the ghost of the Landmark Building is. The fact that she works there and has heard people crying on the 2nd level led her to believe that the building was haunted, as she explained to me. According to her, the atmosphere there is weighed down by melancholy. As one of the policemen who worked the suicide case at Hotel Dalton, Jesse's grandfather-in-law, Troy Hall, was one of the individuals involved. What Jesse said was, "It was a very long time ago." The unfortunate truth is that he cannot recall the name of the girl. He said that she was in her late teens or early 20s at the time. At the time, she was working as a car hop at the Cherokee Drive-In Theatre, and she was experiencing a variety of emotions due to an unwelcome breakup in her love relationship. Due to the fact that newspapers do not often publish suicides, it has been difficult to get further information on her. During the conversation, Jesse said that one of the lawyers who works with Randy Bates has reported seeing strange occurrences on the upper level. And further attorney, whose office is located on the lower level of the building and on the rear side of the structure, has observed doors slamming for reasons that cannot be explained. There was a time when an electrician suddenly left the building and refused to come back because of something terrifying that had occurred to him. There are several instances of paranormal activity at the landmark building. A large number of tour participants have reported seeing lights turn on at night as they were standing in front of the landmark building and listening to her speech. During the conversation, Jesse said that it is not unusual for the lights on the second, third, and fifth levels to suddenly turn on. A glance around the empty parking lot substantiates the notion that it is empty inside, the speaker said. No one is working inside at that late hour. My impression is that the remaining soul feels lonely after all this time has passed. All she wants is for us to be aware that she is there. Together with his wife and 2 boys, Leon Hurst relocated to Dalton in the month of June in the year 1971. The town had a total of 4 cinemas at the time. 2 of them were drive-ins and the other 2 were walk-ins. Leon was hired by Martin Theatres to play the role of city manager for all 4 theatres. There was not a single member of the Hurst family that believed in ghosts or the supernatural when they first arrived in Dalton. However, as time went on, each member of the family started to encounter occurrences that occurred inside the walls of the old Wink Theatre that would permanently alter their worldview.